Going. Hey everybody, this is Chase Iron Eyes. It's November 25th, 2016, and I'm on the Standing Rock Nation. I'm in a secure Wi-Fi connection, so it shouldn't be a problem going live for once. Those of you who are out at the camp at the front line, and ask them to be in the sacrifice zone. And that's not a sacrifice that our children should be made to bear. And by the strength and courage in us, we are going to prevent it. You have to remember, on December 4th, American veterans from around the country are going to converge here. We've got time to really think about what we want to do. This isn't just about Standing Rock's clean water. This is about we are going to be considered trespassers, those of us who are on Army Corps land. And since the Army Corps doesn't have law enforcement capabilities, they're going to call on Morton County. And we know, I mean, we've seen what Morton County is capable of. We've seen what the collusion that they're engaged with mainstream media in North Dakota, with Republican legislators, with the court systems, with DAPL, private armed security. They tell lies. We disprove those lies, but by the time we disprove them with video evidence or otherwise, they've already been able to manipulate the public narrative and push that out to the world as truth. For instance, they said they only sprayed those water cannons or water hoses, whatever you want to call them. They only sprayed water that night to put out fires that protectors had started. If you watch the film, I was there. They sprayed water protectors into communications and what we see to the world. We are all being surveilled. The NDAA, the Patriot Act, all the surveillance that was exposed by Edward Snowden and what have you. We have to be mindful of that. We have to make sure that it's our people, it's our citizens, the real source of democracy that is determining the future of our nation, not the corporate nation state, not corporate control, not corporate right of way, because they have a roadblock. And so, look, the law is subjective. It's what courts, it's what legislators, it's what those in power and in privilege have told us it is. The law currently allows for our water to be poisoned. It currently allows for our children to be put at risk of water poisoning and cancer, and they are shoving this down our throats. They want us to bear this risk. If it's too risky for Bismarck, it's too risky for us. So we have to stand up. We have to know that the law is subjective. If a law allows for water to be poisoned, if it allows for our children's futures to be put at stake, then that law has no moral or spiritual authority. And we should be within rights to stand up to that law. We have to be very, very clear about this. And those are risks that we choose to assume. So my relatives, I want to ask you to smudge, stay in prayer. We need action. Prayer is the foundation, but we do need action. They are pushing us. They are constantly encroaching on our civil rights, our human rights, our constitutional rights, our tribal sovereign rights. They consistently and continuously encroach upon that, continuously dehumanizing us, villainizing us, calling us unlawful, blowing up young women's arms, shooting rubber bullets at people at close range, splitting people's heads open, constantly brutalizing us. And we have to stand up to that. Because if we don't stand up to that, then we lose the battle for the soul of our country. I just want to say those few things, my relatives. And thank you for sharing. Stay tuned. And I just want to give a quick shout out to everybody out there who's sharing all of our material, all of the networks, all the grassroots media who is providing independent coverage, everybody donating, everybody in prayer, everybody helping. I'm from here. I live on the Standing Rock Nation. I'm beholden and accountable to this community. When you bring that pipeline to my front door, you offend my children. You ask me to let my children accept death, and I can't allow that. So I want to thank you for listening, and thank you, my relatives. Just remember to share everything. Go to our website, share this live feed, share others' live feeds, and just keep the pressure on. We can win this. We can win this in the power of peace, but the power of peace does not allow us to back down from our spiritual convictions, and we will not back down.
Brother Chase, a lot of folks, they're interrupted. I think they've been hacking into the line. A lot of them were kind of missing what was being said. It was interrupted. Maybe you can share with them again. There's 1,500 people watching. If you can tell them what's the news now that just broke.
Oh, I got you. Wow, we thought we were safe here. So just today, this is November 25th, Friday, we got news that the Army Corps of Engineers intends to consider all who are at Oceti Sakowin camp trespassers after December 5th. And if you think back, there was a time when our ancestors were asked to confine themselves on these reservations. Ian Wosla Okashke, that's the name of our confinement camp. There was a time, there was a year in the 1800s when they said, everybody, all of you Indians who aren't on your respective reservations by this date are going to be considered hostile. And we're going to authorize the use of the United States military to come engage you, kill you, and round you up. Right now in 2016, we got issue from the Army Corps of Engineers saying if you are not out of that land, and if you don't go back to the reservation, you're going to be considered trespassers in our own homelands. We're dealing with this in 2016. When we say the Indian wars never ended, we're not engaging in hyperbole. There's been a deliberate economic, political, legal, social, media effort to oppress tribal nations and to expropriate from United States citizens their civil rights, their constitutional rights, and their human rights. We can see it happening. Those of you who are getting woke and staying woke can see it happening. How in the hell do we have Donald Trump getting elected with a Republican-controlled Congress, a House, and a Senate, when those of us who don't fit that demographic, everybody who's not old, European, and hetero male, that basically describes the patriarchy that's been proliferated around the globe, that is currently not only oppressing tribal nations and trying to shove a pipeline down our throat, but everybody who doesn't fit that demographic, everybody who's considered an immigrant in their own hemisphere, in their own homelands, everybody who faces a registry just because of the faith that they follow. This is what's happening right now in America. And so we need to be strong. We need to stick together. We need your help, and we'll be there for you when it's time, when you face this struggle. Because right now it's coming for, they want to make you think that, oh, this is just an Indian fight. It's just a bunch of unruly Native Americans up in Timbuktu, Dakota, who are fighting big oil, big finance, and what they like to say is progress. They want to make you think that because then you're disconnected from our struggle. But you have to see right through that. If they're going to do it to us, they'll do it to you. They'll come for your rights. They'll gerrymander. They'll classify you. They'll make you register. They'll do things like make you turn in your firearm, or they'll make voting hard for you. How is it? How is it? Seriously, think about that. How is it that the Republicans are controlling what's going on? And it's not just Republicans. It's the corporate state. It's the usurpation of all of our rights by capital and by all the institutions that capital controls, which is pretty much our economic reality. So when I say get woke and stay woke, we all need to do that every single day. And so again, the Army Corps is threatening eviction after December 5th. We need you to share everything. We need you to stay paying attention, because it's not going to be on mainstream media. The revolution will be televised, but not by them. It's going to be televised by us. That's how strong we are today. I can feel it. I can feel something happening. I know you can too. I sat here and I was nervous knowing that the Army Corps was going to consider me a trespasser for wanting to protect my children's drinking water. Think about that. What if it was you? You would do the same thing. You would stand up. You wouldn't lay down. You wouldn't back down. You would stand up. Our nation put a call out for warriors. We put a call out for protectors. And as somebody who's from the Standing Rock Nation, I grew up here my whole life. I'm raising my family here. We love this land. And we will never back down. It's that simple. I'm not saying that to be engaging in rhetoric or trying to be like all hard. Like this is just, look, this is all we got. That river out there, that's our sole source of drinking water. We signed treaties, multiple treaties with the United States government. They haven't been honored. It's our time to honor those treaties. We can do this. We're all in this together. By force or free will, we became Americans. We're all in this together. And so we better start recognizing each other's humanity. We better start transcending and cutting right through all of these divisions that have been created, having to do with the color of our skin, our race, our religion, our sexual orientation, the way we're born, our income level. We better start transcending all of that, or we're going to lose our freedom. I can see it happening, and I know you do too. So again, we cannot let the Army Corps charge us with trespass on our own land. If you know anybody who can help us file a stay when the veterans get here on December 4th, now is the time to come out. If you don't want to be on that land where they're going to consider you a trespasser, there's ample space on our tribal nation. We need you here. There's all levels of places that you can help. You don't have to come out here and get shot with rubber bullets at close range like they're doing to all the brave water protectors. You can come here and support. But the point is that we need you here and we need you sharing. And so I wanted to say that much, my relatives.
And brother, there's a lot of questions here, a lot of people talking, and one of them is, why did this even happen? Why is the Army Corps threatening to call all water protectors in the camp federal trespassers? There seems like there's a lot of things happening, but what do you think led to this? Is it because there's a huge wish list going around that people are supporting? Is it because they saw that there's more people coming? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, great. And thank you guys for listening. Thank you for asking questions. There's several things that could have happened. One of those things is yesterday when we did that action at Turtle Island. I think that the police, that you could tell that they feel threatened, even though we're unarmed, even though we've never committed violence against the police. The police are going to tell the world that somebody took 3 shots at them. The police are going to tell the world that somebody lobbed Molotov cocktails at them. But the police have lied so much that in my eyes, they don't deserve the presumption of honesty. They don't deserve the presumption that they're upholding justice. They do not deserve that. And so, as of yesterday, our brother Sean King, we did a coordinated effort to supply humanitarian aid to all the camps up there. Humanitarian aid for shelter, for heat, and for protection needs. Because people are being brutalized by the cops that we pay to protect us. We pay them to protect us. We don't pay the cops to protect a private corporation from outside of our area who's coming here and telling a tribal nation that you have to undergo these risks. You have to put yourself in the sacrifice zone, because they had a route to put this pipeline north of Bismarck. And they could have did that. They could have done that and avoided a protest. They could have kept it where people supposedly want it. I don't believe that Bismarck wanted it. That's why it was moved. It was moved to a place where they felt a community could be successfully exploited. They felt that this disempowered and disenfranchised community didn't have the resources or the voice to stand up. But we come from warrior people. It's in our DNA. We don't like oppression. It disagrees with who we are on a spiritual, fundamental level. We want to treat people with respect. We want everybody to be treated fairly and to have the same opportunities. Nobody should have to bear the risks that they're asking us to bear right now. Something happened. There's a reason why Obama is completely silent. There's a reason Hillary Clinton is completely silent. Nobody except Jill Stein. And now Bernie Sanders. But Jill Stein and Bernie Sanders are the only notable, well, I take that back. Ex or current Senator Kucinich wrote a powerful letter asking the Department of Justice to intervene and to investigate the corruption and the collusion that is going on in the state of North Dakota under, it's called the 1983 suit, but it's a civil rights suit, I believe. So we need legal help. We need all of this. And if you're interested if you're in a position to help, just contact us through the messenger system or look me up on Facebook, Chase Iron Eyes. But again, I know that I'm being monitored. I know that nothing's safe in the smartphone generation. We just entered the most incredibly surveilled reality that we could have ever imagined and probably could not have even imagined. So we have to be wary of that. We've got to keep everything above board. That's why I say we can win this. Because everybody is thinking when they escalate violence, we escalate violence. That's not how it works. That's how we lose. And I'm not a turn the other cheek brother. You have a right to defend yourself. But in this case, we've got women and children at that camp. We have to think smart because they have the full weight of military intelligence, law enforcement intelligence, and experience. They've got money. I believe they have paid provocateurs and de-escalators in the camp right now to prevent people from taking strong, peaceful, and non-violent action to protect our clean water rights. I can see it happening. They're subduing the warrior spirit of people. We're not trying to be violent. But you brought the fight to us. You're asking us to let our water be poisoned. We didn't want this fight. They should have kept it somewhere else, kept it away from us. This is just like when white supremacists bought a town 25 miles from our reservation and thought that that was going to happen without us rising up and confronting them face to face. We went over there face to face, ready to get down because look, you're messing with our futures, with our families' futures. We're family men. We're not rabble rousers or paid activists or nothing like that. We're professionals. We're educated. We're business owners. We're teachers, doctors, lawyers, spiritual people, scientists. We run the gamut. You can't treat us like we're stuck in the 1800s anymore. You might be stuck in the 1800s. You might be unwilling to let go of the past, a past which saw us accepting a state of second-class citizenhood, but we're never going back. We are not going backwards. And it's crazy to see, because there's Trump supporters who feel emboldened to commit these little microaggressions and violent, murderous aggressions. But we're never going back. That's not happening. This is our country. This isn't Trump's country. This is our America. This isn't Trump's America. And so, look, it's serious, serious times. I just wanted to say that much to you. Again, just please rewatch the live feed. We're going to cut, we're going to save it, and we're going to keep it up. And just, get woke and stay woke. That's kind of our platform here. But I want to thank you, so we'll close it out, my relatives. Lila Wopila Ichichapilo.